you only get those moments once in your lifetime. And one of the biggest regrets that a lot of people talk about is to say they worked too hard. They worked way too hard, thinking about what's best for the company. What am I doing for the company and everything? And it's like you're only going to get that time with the child for so long, and then there you go. This will be an interesting one. Let's talk about daycare in the United, or at least in America for right now. To clarify, I do not have kids, but I would like to have kids in the future. And I've had some concern, or maybe I'm not sure if contention is the right word, with daycare. I'm not sure if it's a system that I fully agree with, because here's the thing, right? One of the biggest aspects of your life is going to be taking care of your children and seeing your children grow up in life. And those are the things that those aspects of life you will never, ever get back. Once something happens, it's just like the first time's over and it is what it is. And I guess the thing that really pushed this idea to come to mind is that my mother was talking to me, and she told me one time that, son, I never did get to see you walk for the first time. Now, usually, like when I was a little bit younger, I probably wouldn't have cared about that. But as I see myself going further and thinking about, I would like to have children in the future. And I think about the aspect of that. It's like, wait a minute. So I am paying for somebody else to watch my children, right? And not just a little bit of money, a lot of money. Paying a lot of money just for someone else to be taking care of my children. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Somebody else is raising my child, and then I don't even get to experience those moments. I'm here staring at a computer, managing an Excel spreadsheet or something for the company, an Excel spreadsheet I'll never think about once I finish it and turn it in and get it done, right? But my kid, those moments that you have technically given away to somebody else. And also, here's another thing to think about. As apparently, from what I hear, in the daycare system, it's a lot of turnover. If you get a better opportunity or you just find a better job, you're gonna go to it. And then there's no harm or foul to it. It's like you gotta get that money, you gotta get that bag, right? But the kid is developing trust at such a young age, is trying to build trust with an adult figure. And usually it's done with the mother or father, but it's with these employees, whether it's a male or female. And whenever that kid builds up trust with that employee, and then the employee leaves, that trust is obviously going to be like, okay, so I now have to transfer that trust to another employee. What happens if that employee leaves as well? And then so on and so on. It's a revolving door, and I can see how some kids can build trust issues down the road in the future, understanding that these people, they're just temporary. They're temporary in your life when the mother and father should be there. And I understand, we got to work our jobs. We got to do it. We got to do what we have to do, right? But at least in my thought process, I would love to entertain the idea of me and my significant other, one of us at least staying home, regardless of whoever it makes sense to do it. One of us stays home to see those moments and raise our child the way we want it. And then this isn't even me getting into the stuff the nonsense they try to teach you in school about, and that's other topics. I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to talk about them without getting blacklisted or shadow banned on the internet. But if you've been paying attention to what's happening in our school systems, it's just like you see what certain teachers are teaching kids these days. So yeah, thinking back to what my mother said, it's just like I never did get to see you walk for the first time, and that kind of hits. The older you get, that kind of hits in a certain way, because you only get those moments once in your lifetime. And one of the biggest regrets that a lot of people talk about is to say they worked too hard. They worked way too hard, thinking about what's best for the company. What am I doing for the company and everything? And it's like you're only going to get that time with the child for so long, and then there you go. So I don't know. you guys, give me your thoughts on this. Give me your thoughts on it. I'm not a parent yet. I'd love to be one, but I just don't think. I think daycare as something that we've accepted in society feels a little bit messed up or wrong. It makes sense maybe if like, okay, they're there at daycare for a couple of days, but like if they're there all the time and you hardly see your child and you're always working and you only get to see your child like a couple of hours a day, maybe even less than that, something about that system feels wrong. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, because I'm not sure if I'm down with that kind of system. With that said, cheers.